Hi, I'm Hannah from the Police Digital Security Centre, and today I am going to talk about fraud and how to reduce your chances of falling victim to it. Just a breakdown of who we are for those of you who do not know. The Police Digital Security Centre is a not-for-profit organisation owned by the Police Crime Prevention Initiatives, working in partnership with government, academia, law enforcement and industry. Our aim is to help businesses reduce their risk to cybercrime and fraud by changing the notion that cybersecurity has to be complicated. Many cyber threats can be avoided by taking a few simple steps that are cost-effective solutions and even free. You can even use these skills at home. We can all play our part in keeping our working environment safe. All of our advice is in line with the government's National Cybersecurity Centre. Criminals take advantage of any situation to try and commit fraud, and the COVID-19 pandemic and vaccination rollouts are no exception. Fake text messages invite recipients to click on a link and book their vaccine. The link takes you to a fake but convincing NHS webpage, which asks for banking and personal information. Another smishing message, as fake text messages are known, asks for a yes or no text response back, which results in a charge to your phone bill. Also look out for fake COVID passes for sale online and through social media. Cybercriminals are calling, texting and emailing the public, pretending to be from the NHS. COVID passes are free and available via the NHS website, app or by calling 119. Regularly test your ability to spot fraud and wherever COVID is concerned, go directly to the government, NHS or other trusted websites and apps for advice, rather than responding to fake emails, texts or phone calls. When we came out of lockdown and started buying tickets to events, there came an increase in ticket fraud. The victim not only loses money from purchasing a fake ticket, but is impacted emotionally from not being able to attend the event they were looking forward to for so long. To avoid disappointment, check the ticketing site is a member of STAR. Secure tickets from authorised retailers. Our furry companions even became a subject for fraud. With many of us looking for a pet, fraudsters have been advertising pets that don't exist. The victim puts down a deposit and never receives the pet. Again, there are financial and emotional impacts from this. Make sure to visit your pet in person or to at least video call with your pet so you know it exists. Look to buy from an assured breeder so you feel confident in your purchase, or adopt from a reputable rescue centre. Fraud is commonly referred to as social engineering. This is the process of manipulating a victim into actioning a request, such as clicking on a link, opening an attachment, paying an invoice, submitting a form, and more. These requests are usually delivered via text message, which is known as smishing, phone call, which is known as phishing, or most commonly email, which is known as phishing. Fraud can result in further attack on the business that is much more severe, including financial loss, data loss, and spread of malware. Other social engineering techniques you should look out for include baiting, luring the victim with something appealing, encouraging them to act in response, compromising the security in doing so. The enticement is not always cyber. In the real world, there may be an infected USB lying on the ground that you may plug into your device. Never connect rogue equipment to your network. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. Spear phishing, fraudulent emails that are targeted towards an individual or business. Tailgating, an unauthorized individual gains access to restricted premises by following closely behind an authorized individual, perhaps claiming to have forgotten a pass or unable to swipe because their hands are full. Be vigilant on any suspicious activity and challenge people you do not recognize. Watering hole. These scams are aimed at specific groups such as an organization, government, industry, and more. Criminals will gain access to the system by infecting the website most frequently visited by the target group. It is difficult to detect this attack, so do not browse the internet on work equipment unless absolutely necessary for the job role. Whaling is a fraud targeted towards someone of high importance, such as the CEO, board members, or similar. Staff need to be vigilant when receiving requests from these people and challenge anything out of the ordinary, especially those dealing with finance. Cybercriminals may pose as the CEO and request that an invoice is paid. For more information, this infographic is available on our website. Ransomware is a malware that locks a device or filing system from legitimate user access and demands a sum of money to be paid for its release. Criminals are even locking users out of online accounts, including social media. You should endeavour to not pay the ransom in response, as there is no guarantee your data will be released and you will be funding criminal activity. So having data backups available will take the pressure off of paying the ransom by default, and you can continue with business whilst actioning your incident response plan. It is in your incident response plan where you can include the exceptional circumstances when paying the ransom is necessary and justify this decision. However, we would rather you didn't fall for ransomware in the first instance, and, as with any malware, cybersecurity best practices including updating software, enabling a firewall, having the latest version of anti-malware, and awareness training of social engineering techniques will greatly prevent you from suffering from such an attack. Strong passwords and two-factor authentication will reduce the risk of account takeover. Routine backups will help you to recover quickly from an incident. Consider the data essential to the running of the business and how long you can afford to be without that data to help you form a backup strategy. Be sure you are not accidentally backing up malware-infected files, as you will reinfect clean systems and become stuck in an attack loop. Ransomware has evolved to seek out and infect backups first before you are made aware of its presence. Store backups off the network to keep them safe. Regularly restore your backups to ensure they are fit for purpose. You do not want them to be unavailable at a critical time. This infographic can be found on our website. Just an example of a case study demonstrating how a spear phishing email can escalate into further attacks. It's the time of the year when a private school in the southeast of England was accepting applications for new students, so cybercriminals sent a malware-infected Word document to the admissions department. Thinking it was a completed application form, the administrative assistant opened the document, which activated the malware and allowed the hackers to take control of the network. The cybercriminals decided to send emails from the admissions account to all of the parents of the prospective students, offering a discount on fees and for the money to be sent to their bank account. Making use of the offer, parents paid the hackers £180,000. The school was only alerted to the hack at an open day when a parent remarked of the offer that the school did not endorse. So the school sent an email to all of the affected parents informing them of the hack, saying they do not offer a discount on fees and that the full amount should be paid to their correct bank details. However, the school had not fully removed the hackers from the network, so the hackers were able to intercept the email and change the bank details again to their own. So the parents paid a further £70,000 to the hackers. So have a think, if you were in this situation, what would you do? So here are some common red flags of a phishing email. It's not addressed to you specifically, it will be very generic. There's poor grammar and spelling, which could indicate the email does not originate from the country you are expecting it to come from. It requires actions from you, like clicking a link, opening an attachment, etc. There might be a sense of urgency, but remember, nothing is too important that you do not have time to verify the request. Even a time limit of 1 hour is enough time for a Google search or phone call. Most reputable organisations will give you plenty of time to respond. There is no harm in calling the sender using your usual contact methods or finding reputable details online. Don't reply back to the email or use the contact details provided in the email. It is better to use a different form of communication in case the email account has been hacked. Seek advice from your friends, family, and colleagues. They may be able to spot signs of a phishing email that you may have missed or received something similar. Don't panic if you do click. It may be that the link takes you to a website that is asking you to complete a form or make a purchase, and unless you submit something to the page, no further harm is done. However, it is still worth investigating and keeping an eye on whether malware has been installed by running antivirus. Encourage your staff to report scams and whether they have fallen victim to their line manager, so you can proactively respond and make sure the business hasn't been compromised. The quicker you react, the quicker you can fix any problems. Cybercriminals can sit on the network and gather information going unnoticed for a long time, so you will want to identify and remove them as soon as possible. Sharing experiences of fraud with others means others are less likely to fall victim to the same scam, protecting your business more. We are all human at the end of the day, and so you want to make it a positive thing that fraud is reported, rather than having any repercussions. Naturally, if it is intentionally sabotaged and you have provided training as much as possible and people are still ignoring the assistance you are providing, then you should consider the threat that the individual has on the business. But without providing advice and training, you shouldn't expect your staff to know how to spot phishing emails. You can use our phishing email checklist to remind you of common signs to look out for anytime you are concerned of an email's integrity. A few other tips to include: check the sender email address to determine who actually sent the email and hover over any link to reveal the website you will be taken to. Slight changes can be made to the email address and the website link to look more authentic, such as for PDSC.com, the O can be changed to a 0. Often when you correspond with someone, you get an idea of their communication style. Take caution if there is noticeable changes to the way they compose their emails and texts, as this could mean the sender's email account or phone number has been compromised. Reach out to the person through a different form of communication. Instead of assuming staff know how to spot fraud, train them regularly to be certain you have done all you can to help your staff protect your business. They will feel more involved in the success of the business and more helpful if they know what they are doing and looking for. There are several training tools you can make use of. Third-party organisations will send simulated phishing campaigns on your behalf, so you can identify how savvy your staff are at spotting phishing and whether anyone is falling for it. This allows them to fall for a phishing email in a safe environment, and they can learn from it as well. This is not to embarrass or trick anyone out, and staff should not feel ashamed or targeted. It's purely for training purposes. From the results, the staff will then be trained on how to spot phishing emails, and over time they will improve their vigilance. Though effective, third parties can come at a cost, and so there are free tools you can use, such as using our phishing email checklist. But this free Google phishing quiz is an interactive tool asking the player to identify whether they think it's a phishing or genuine email, and walking through ways of spotting the signs of phishing. Take 5 is also a campaign offering free resources to use and encouraging us to stop and think about the emails we receive. A few tips that can help you tackle fraud. Password managers autofill usernames and passwords only for the website those login credentials are associated with. If it is a fake website, the password manager won't provide the login credentials. Use two-factor authentication for all your online accounts. If you accidentally disclose login credentials to the cybercriminal, they will be unable to gain access to the online account because they will need the one-time passcode sent to your phone or generated by an authenticator app. Remember to not share your one-time passcode with anyone, even if asked over the phone. Quad 9 is a free tool you can use that blocks known malicious websites. Antivirus will scan individual files and can scan emails for malware. If you accidentally open an attachment, run antivirus to check malware hasn't gotten on to the system. Safe Search can be an add-on of antivirus and blocks known malicious websites. Ultimately, browsing the web responsibly reduces the risk of stumbling across a fake and malware-infected web page. This includes not accessing personal online accounts such as social media channels and online shopping when connected to the business network and using a work device. Web browsing should only be for those who need it for their job role, and if this is the case, they should bookmark the web pages they regularly visit so they know it is one they can trust. This is because cybercriminals can create copycat sites that are difficult to detect, so you might accidentally submit login credentials and information to the criminals. These tips you can see here can be found on our website. In summary, train staff to spot common signs of scams. If the offer is too good to be true, it probably is. Stop and think of the request being asked of you. Verify the sender. Seek advice. And don't panic if you do click. If you are infected with ransomware, use No More Ransom, which provides keys to unlocking the ransomware without you needing to pay the fee. If you think you have fallen victim to cybercrime, report it to Action Fraud. They are our national reporting body. Forward phishing emails to report@phishing.gov.uk and forward smishing messages to 7726. Just a few resources for you. Our website at PDSC.com has free resources for you to use and share. And the Metropolitan Police provide little guide booklets and videos to raise awareness of fraud. Thank you for joining me today. Do check out our resources at policedsc.com, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.